Where do you go? What do you need? How much can you earn at these countries? And how do you get to these countries in the first place? Let's answer these questions right now, and let's start with Cambodia. Cambodia is a beautiful country with rich culture, ancient temples, and beautiful beaches. Teachers on their free time can explore study temples like Angkor Wat, relax on beaches of Kep, or learn about Cambodia's tragic history at the Killing Field Museum. There is a high demand for English teachers and almost no requirements to apply. However, you do want to have a TEFL to get a competitive salary. Lower end schools will hire you without a TEFL, and the salaries will reflect it, which is still not bad for living in Cambodia, as the cost of living is way lower than what you actually get paid. The salaries expected are from $4,000 to $8,000. For somebody with a TEFL degree, you're looking at about $1,200 to $2,500 a month, and depends on the experience you have. Let's talk about the pros and cons of Cambodia. It's the more expensive Southeast Asian country as it relies heavily on the US dollar. It's smaller than other countries with less tourist spots to actually see. It lacks a lot of modern things that you would find in other Asian countries. The pros? English in general is better and the people tend to be happier. The diversity of food isn't just limited to Asian food out here. Tuk-tuks make traveling by taxi some of the cheapest and fastest means of transportation in Southeast Asia. Thailand. Thailand definitely pays the lowest for teaching English, which is a throw off for many people as Thailand looks way more modern, cleaner, and westernized than the rest of Southeast Asia. Past the money, Thailand is an amazing country that stretches all the way north to China and reaches all the way down to Malaysia, having cities, nightlife, and beaches. So what can you expect from teaching in Thailand? A 4-year bachelor degree and 120-hour TEFL certification to get a work permit are required. If you are a non-English native speaker, you'll also need to pass the C1 English exam. Native teachers will range between $700 to $1,300 a month, where non-native teachers can make between $600 to $900 a month on average. When working in Thailand, such as Bangkok, you can make more money than other places in the country. However, the cost of living is similar to places like Saigon, minus all the pointless honking while having a smaller salary. Finally, let's look at the pros and cons of living in Thailand. The cons. The food. It's mostly just fried and barbecued or Western-styled fast food, so it's kind of limited out here. Air pollution is getting bad real fast. Pattaya and Bangkok are starting to have a lot of smog concerns. Teaching jobs in Thailand pay extremely low compared to the rest of Southeast Asia. The pros. The cost of living outside of Bangkok is some of the cheapest in all of Southeast Asia. English and the culture are way more westernized than other places in Southeast Asia. Beautiful temples and landmarks are all over Thailand, and it has a strong Buddhist following. Laos. Laos is a country few talk about, even fewer visit when planning to come to Southeast Asia. It should be though. It's clean, it's quiet, it's overall remote anywhere you go, and it's some of the nicest, calmest people you'll meet in Southeast Asia. You will get a real look at the countryside of Asia without all the noise, pollution, and chaos. Let's talk about some of the qualifications when you do come here to teach in Laos. You will be required to have a 4-year degree as well as a TEFL certification to get the work permit to work legally in Laos. And the salaries are similar to Thailand. The pay will be much less when you get to the countryside, but the cost of living is extremely low, so it kind of balances out. But this does hurt people that are coming out here to save money in the long run. Let's cover some of the great things about Laos and some of the things that make it hard to even stay here long term. The cons. The nightlife, even in large cities, is almost non-existent. Most of Laos is rather slow paced, even in the bigger cities. The job market is very low and there's very few resources to even find work out here. The pros. Visa extension processes allow you to extend per day or even in advance at immigration while you're in the country. Scams, loud communities, and pollution are almost unheard of in Laos. If you happen to speak Thai or know some basic Thai, Laos people will understand what you're saying to an extent. And finally, Vietnam, the big dog of Southeast Asia. The first stop most expats, teachers, nomads, and tourists tend to come to. Yet oddly, the one where most never return. It's not that bad out here, is it? No, Vietnam is an acquired taste to describe it best. But let's first talk about what is required to come out here to Vietnam to teach English. Vietnam, like Thailand and Laos, require a 4-year bachelor's degree and a TEFL certification, and the salary can range between $1,200 to $2,400 a month, and some extra benefits such as medical paid. Sometimes you get free transportation, and some places will even help you pay for your rent while you're living here. Vietnam, unlike other countries, does offer more of an equal pay for non-native and native English speaker teachers, as long as your English is up to par. Vietnam does make a first grade spot, as you can really learn how to start teaching, you get free training, and you're allowed to make a lot of mistakes, as a lot of schools in Vietnam will kind of just critique you and feedback you, but they never take serious action like you would see in Thailand, where they might just remove you. The cons. The noise, the trash, the pollution is a serious problem. And the noise, it just never stops, morning to night. Traffic is chaotic and there's no real rules, or at least they're not enforced. Police will usually ignore most of everything unless you're not using a blinker. Also, sidewalks are fair game. So if there's a red light or if there's a traffic jam, don't think you're going to be walking on any sidewalks. The pros. The first pro is more of a tourist thing, but there's more places to see in Thailand as in landmarks and places to visit as a tourist than any other country in Southeast Asia. And also, Vietnam has some of the biggest markets than anybody else, as you're finding them pretty much on every other street. Finding a job is fast and easy, making it really an employee's market. Number 3, one of the best nightlife spots in all of Asia, and it has a huge coffee culture. So we've talked about the benefits and disadvantages of different countries as you teach them, but where do you find all these jobs? Coming here and applying directly for these jobs is always the best way to go. Here are some websites that can get you at least started. And besides websites, Facebook will be one of the fastest and effective ways to find work anywhere in Southeast Asia, as it's the biggest and used marketplace all of Asia. Also, having common app chats will help you boost your chances as well. If you're in Cambodia, WhatsApp is a great one. Zalo is a Vietnamese option, and Lime is used in Thailand and Laos. You have any questions, comments, or disagreements? Post below. Till then, I will see you again.